Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. It's Kathleen, your conscious coach. Thank you for joining me. I'm super excited. Hopefully, you tagged and shared with a friend. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like this post and share this post as well. If you are on Periscope, hi, Periscopers. Hi, Facebook. All my Facebook pages. Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's Monday, and I know everyone, is, going back to work and doing all the stuff they need to do. So I want to jump on here today. What we're going to talk about today is the Legacy Workbook, and we're going to talk about the Legacy Workbook in terms of how we need it as a resource right now, especially in the Black community and the African American community, or however you label yourself, you brown skinned king or queen. So this conscious hour, that's what we'll be talking about. I always like to start with a video so we're on the same page and you know what we'll be talking about today. So anyway, I am Kathleen, your conscious coach. I am chosen an educator, author, speaker, and writer. Definitely a woman of God. That's why I'm chosen. And we're going to get into this show today. I'm not going to waste anybody's time, and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to start this conversation talking about education. Now, I'm an educator, meaning I can take different subjects and I can enumerate on it or elaborate on it. And so I'm an educator. I'm an advocate. So I educate on sexual abuse and all kinds of things. So this is one of the things I like to educate my people on in terms of life and family and wellness. And so this is what I do. So in that realm, I'm an educator, I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, and all that good stuff. Author of the Conscious Book Collection, 4 books specifically made for Black people to help us gain our independence and come to a place where we need to in our conscious mind. So let's get into what this show is going to be about. So I know you've seen this video at this point circulating on social media, and this video is all about what's happening in our educational system. Now, if you know, well, we've all been to school, right? So, because we've all been to school, we've all been through basically white education or white supremacy education, and basically it's racist education. Now, is it racist to learn math, science, all of that? No, it's not. But it is racist to learn it in a atmosphere that is conducive to celebrating white privilege. And so, because of that, and nobody has avoided this, right? Because we all went to school in America. We've all kind of had the same textbooks. When you went to college, you still had the same textbooks because basically one company, now it's maybe two, make all the textbooks that go out to every school and every college, and it's normally Pearson, and I think Cambridge makes books, but it's mostly Pearson, and I forgot the name of all of them, but it's mostly Pearson. These books have been written over the years to cater to the fact that white people were superior in some way, and they always lack the content that will celebrate Black people, and because of that, we go to school and we learn from them, and they have a way of always painting this picture of what being Black is. And so, I'll show you this video right quick. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about some things. So let me show you this video right quick. I set this up a little bit. So basically, we're living in an atmosphere now where everybody's doing virtual school, right? Because everybody's doing virtual school, parents now have an opportunity to kind of take a little more of a peek at how the teacher presents the lesson and how the teacher facilitates her classroom. Now, before COVID, a lot of parents didn't even visit the school, neither were they privy to how the teacher conducts her classroom, manages her classroom, or basically teaches a lesson or presents a lesson. Now, my associate's degree, my first degree was in education. So, my arts of teaching. So, I've been a sub for years. I also have a background in education up to um, basically a associate's degree in education. I did not continue that because I just didn't feel like I was a person who was going to be excited about being in the classroom every day. But anyway, you learn how they present the lesson, and it's a good thing to be a teacher, right? Like I love, you know, to every teacher out there. I mean, teachers are great. But what happens is in a lot of classrooms, they present the lesson. And like I said, they always paint this picture of Black people as inferior. And they don't have a problem with that. And they always tell the stories. I mean, they always tell the stories about poverty, our pain, Black people getting shot, being gang members. That's like how they relate to Black people in the classroom. And then Black History Month, they put up all of the people that we already know, like Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, people like that. But there are a lot of Black people who are doing exceptional things. We know this. There are a lot of Black people who look, they don't know anything about the hood or none of that stuff. And so let me show you this video because as parents are able to get in on the Zooms, they're able to see how information is presented to their child and what their child is learning in school. So let's take a look.
Is this the type of stuff that you talk with our kids to see what Black man is right, what Black man is wrong, which Black man did that and what Black man did that? How about which white person did this and which white person did that? Did you ever think about that?
Well, actually,
Because I don't feel as though that this conversation that you're having with our children is a good one, okay? I really don't, because it's 2020. You got racist ass motherfuckers that don't care. And
okay.
now you're in school talking to my kids about George Floyd that ain't got nothing to do with this. You're having an ignorant, disrespectful conversation. He wasn't supposed to be honored. He wasn't supposed to be this. Are you saying this because you're white?
Oh.
I think
Let's
right
let
now,
go away
there's
from
nothing
the
to do with race.
because now you have mom upset, and I'm speaking to a teacher, nobody else. But I feel as though since we all Zooming, you need to see my face, and I can't come to speak to you about this. That's where mom steps in. Is this the type of stuff that you talk with our?
All right, so basically, that's a screen capture video. So many people sent me that video, and of course, I seen it circulating on the internet. So I had recorded it like 2 days ago, I think it was. But then yesterday, I know for sure. But then I saw this one that kind of had a little bit more preface to it. It was a little longer, and it really caught the beginning of the conversation, and so I went with that one. I don't like World Star and World Hip Hop Star and all that stuff because they always putting out negative images of Black people. So I'm gonna tell you, I had to make sure I said that because I don't want us, going to World Star for nothing. I mean, it's cool they do what they do over there, but I'm not with it because you know that was a good thing they put out, though. I'll say that. So basically, what is the Legacy Workbook book about? It's basically debunking all these theories, this rhetoric, this language, these connotations, these stereotypes, all of these things that they have associated with Black people that your child is going to hear when they go to school. They're going to hear all of this information that paints black people in a derogatory way. So the Legacy Workbook is all about debunking even those myths about how slavery was necessary, how black people were inferior, how black people somehow had moments when they enjoyed slavery, participated in slavery, didn't have a problem with slavery, were happy to be a servant to the master, were happy to be out in the field chopping cotton, sweating by the brow, they and all of these things that we've heard over the years. You're talking years and years and years of funnel down misinformation and just incorrect information, period. Like it's just wrong. But they've continued to play this out over the years. Now, I went to school as a non-traditional student. When I went to school as a non-traditional student, meaning college, um, one of the things I learned was in your sociology books and look, pretty much every textbook you get, they always paint black people as the food stamp recipients, welfare, poverty stricken, gangster, barely, it's like special if one of us makes it or makes something better of ourselves and this, that, and the third. And so you know, their view and perspective of us is played out in textbooks that then your child has to go to school and consume this information. Now it's been this way since the beginning of time. My mother, one of my mother's best friends, had to participate in a protest to help their high school, their school in their area get segregated. And this is in a town that only has 3,000 people. It's like every other town. At one point, the school was white, and then they tried to mix black people in the school, and people had a problem with that. So it's always been present. This is not something new. What's new is us flipping the script so that we can become the educators of our own children at home, so that when they go out into the world, when they go out into these schools, they will understand what's real and what really needs to resonate with them, and they will understand what part of that is dangerous, not good, false, a lie, and meant to tear them down. Now, I love education. I have friends in education. Like I said, when I first went to school, it was for education. I love what teachers do. I mean, it's education. It's just that one part in there where we need a little help, a little boost. So education, I want to talk about the manipulation and the pollution of white education. Now, I'm not trying to sound like some Pan African or some Omar, Dr. Umar, whatever his name is, which I respect him and all that. But I'm just coming from a place to just educate you on what we need for our children in regards to their life and their life experiences. So, the manipulation and pollution of white education, school is dangerous to black people in some aspects. Like I said, the video we just saw, where I don't know the full detail, but apparently the teacher, who is white, was saying some negative things about George Floyd. According to the parent who was speaking, she was saying things like he didn't deserve to be honored and all of that. They don't value us the way we should value us. They don't see us the way that we should see us. And why am I saying the way that we should see us? By the way, chat is open. I'll try to flip back and forth to see if anybody posts something or ask a question, make a comment. So chat is open. The last time I had so much participation on chat, but I did not click over because I was in a zone. And it's just a one-woman show. So I only have this one screen, so I'll try to remember to click back over. But just like the teacher was saying in that video, according to the parents, she was saying that George Floyd did not deserve to be honored and all of that. Listen, there are going to be people in your child's structure of life that is going to try to feed them messages that will be derogatory, harmful, and put everything as a negative connotation, stereotype, and all of that. how do we set ourselves up and set our children up so they are able to mentally reject thoughts that do not apply to them, and also debunk this rhetoric and these theories and all these notions that come from white education. This is why I wrote the Legacy Workbook, because I understand they're going to get to school and they're going to be taught all of this stuff about how slavery was necessary and all the things I mentioned earlier. So it's our job then to step into a place where we put them in a position. Say position again. Say position one more time. So it's our job to put our children in a position so that when they hear this information, they are automatically able to reject that information because it's not the truth. And one of the things I talk about in the Legacy Workbook is I break each chapter down, and it's not, guys, this workbook is only 40 pages. That's all it is. But the material that's in this workbook, the conscious mind uh, uh, development that you're going to experience through this workbook is just what we need for teachers like this who's going to get into school and try to say something negative about Black people. And here's the thing. If we don't build up a foundation at home with our children and give them the message that we want them to know, understand, appreciate, love, and that direction we want them to have, then when they get to school and they in that school setting or out in public or when they go to college or wherever they go to, they're going to hear these messages about Black people. They're going to hear this stereotype garbage. They're going to hear their teachers stand in front of them and only relate to Black people as poor, in gangs, having babies, in lack, in poverty, and their minds that are like sponges are going to be subconsciously and consciously grabbing a hold of this information, and they don't have a foundation to kick that stuff back. We need our children to have a foundation to kick that mess back. And here's another thing I want to say to us. We have to be comfortable accepting how they see us. We got a problem with that. We don't want to believe they hate us. We don't want to believe that they don't care anything about Black people. We don't want to believe that they don't love us. We don't want to believe that. So we've been living for years in this state of mind where, look, these people can't be that bad. These people can't be that evil. These people can't be that mean, that angry. These people can't be that disrespectful. They found a guy the other day. They arrested 4 people that they had took this man clothes off, stripped him naked, set him on fire, threw him in a ditch. We all know Emmett Till's situation where he whistled at a white woman or something like that. This boy ain't number 13. They took that boy, a boy, took this boy and killed him. And when they found his body, it was to the point where, look, too much. And somehow we want to believe that somehow these people are going to, and that they have some good thought about us. I'm okay with you not liking me. I'm okay with you hating me. Because guess what? You're not a part of my life like that. And our children need to understand that. And we need to accept that, because as long as we don't accept that, then we keep letting them put their perspective, their view, their hatred onto us and make us believe it. If I can tell you the number of Black people who feel like, where's my phone? Because it's just beeping. I cannot begin to tell you, what's this? Hold on. Oh. I can't begin to tell you the number of Black people I talk to on a daily basis. This is from people I grew up around, from people in the hood, young people, old people, to people with college degrees that actually believe that Black people deserve punishment. When I tell you, if they say something, just like, think about this. When they talk about police violence, the first thing people say is, well, what did he do wrong? Well, he should have complied. Well, when the officer told him to do this, he should have did it. Then he would have lived. Oh, where's it? Oh, he or she going to jail for 20 years. They should have knew better. Well, they shouldn't have been selling drugs. They shouldn't have been doing this. They shouldn't have been doing that. Because we came from slavery and we've been taught that we are nothing, that we don't matter, that we are nothing. And it's easy for us. We've adopted racism. We've adopted their way of thinking about us. And so when we hear things like that, that's why our mind moves like that, because we've adopted the principles and the operation of racism. And we believe that all of that is true. But guess what? There are people, white people, who have committed the same crime that black people have committed, and they don't even see a courtroom. And a lot of people like to say, well, that's probably because they got money. It's some poor white folks that haven't seen a courtroom because of their white skin. I want to move us out of this place where we feel like we deserve pain, where we feel like we deserve the worst, where we in this mindset where, woe is me. Even in our church songs, we sing more about pain and woe is me and help me Jesus more than anything else. And it's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a beggar's mentality. It's a throw me the crumbs mentality. It's a whatever you give me, I'm cool with, because I don't deserve anything any better. And when I move into a space, that's how white people know I don't care about them like that. Because when I move into a space, it's already on me of who I am as a black person, of what I represent, that I'm a queen, that, I ain't really worried about what you're talking about. Because regardless to what you do, I know that you're evil, you're savages, you're racist. Look, I can't adopt who you are on me. So what we must do is accept how they see us. We're not going to change the way we need to change until we accept how they see us. And once we're clear on that, we can move on to what we need to do for us, which is defining ourselves. Say defining myself. Say defining myself again. Say I'm defining my black self again. So we need to define us. Let us define us. We're talking about the Legacy Workbook, and it's for blacks only. Educare. Educare is when you gain knowledge in every area. And this is for black family responsibility. Let me go back here. I want to show you something that I saw. It's circulating on Facebook too. I mean, I've done a lot of reading, so a lot of this stuff I've seen before. When we live in the United States of America, sorry, my pictures have arms. When we live in the United States of America, we have to accept that this is what America looks like. This is in order for us to make changes. As long as we're singing a kumbaya song and let's get along song, and we're not recognizing our enemy for real, we put ourselves and our children at danger. And this is why we still see textbooks at school where they blatantly will talk about racism, where they blatantly will encourage students to accept the fact that racism was like what, a part of life. It had to happen. It was a part of the economic strategy to build America. They are here telling all kinds of lies instead of just saying we were too lazy and too trifling and too indignant to hire black people, give them a decent wage, and or at least say, hey, look, if you work for me, I promise you, if this works, let's be shareholders. Let's partnership in this. No, instead they took guns and knives and weaponized themselves and enslaved people. So until you understand the America that you live in, how can you possibly change it? This is another image. So when they talking to your kids about thugs and protesters, Look, they burned down a whole city in Louisiana, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in New York, all over. Even the small town that I'm from, Earl, Arkansas, they burned some of that city down because of racism. In Earl, Arkansas, the little town that I'm from, they practice peonage, peonage. I might be pronouncing it wrong. They practice peonage, where when after slavery, when slaves were supposed to be free, they would lie on black people and say black people had broken some law just to put them in jail to make them work for manufacturers and companies for free. So this is what I'm talking about. We have to educate our own people and move in an organized way to overcome racism. Now, here's something I want to show you. This right here is what did the founding fathers of the United stated the vision for the black race. Now you can read here Benjamin Franklin. He was a scientist. I increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and Tonys, brown people. I don't, or increasing the lovely white and red. Thomas, Thomas Jefferson ain't crap. I mean, this dude. They said he had a black wife. Did you know that girl was only 13 to 15 years old? And he kept her in like a cave in his house. This is by his son's own accordance. His grandsons talked about what the room looked like where he kept the little girl in. She wasn't even a grown woman. She was like, they said she was between 13 and 15 years old. Some say 13, some say 15. And what do he have? 6, 7, 8 kids by that little girl? Kept her in that room. Thomas Jefferson was the president. I therefore, as a suspicion only that the blacks, whether originally a district, race, or made distinct by time or circumstance, are inferior to whites in the endowments of both body and mind. Listen, you got to prepare your children for the real world. Abraham Lincoln. There is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together. While they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior, and I, as much as any man, in favor of having the superior position assigned to the right white race. Tell me something. How can superiority be assigned? And this is literally an argument I had in college. How is it possible? And this is the killing part. A black instructor was conducting this class. The black instructor spoke about black people in a way that was degrading, that put us out there like we lacked intelligence. It was completely corrupt. And look, just a part of that systemic white education. So she says to the whole class, and college is important because college is young minds. I'm talking 18, 19, 20. Then it's a few of us old people in there. But it's basically people fresh out of high school, just starting to get a little independence out of the house with mom and dad, more than likely. Some of them are, a lot of them are having their first life experience. Then you take a class, and the instructor, who this instructor happened to be black, but trust me, I had plenty of white ones that was teaching garbage, like that bell curve nonsense. But the teacher was teaching, and she said that black people are more than likely to end up on assistance, and talked about all these communities that we lived in, and how it was impoverished communities, more likely to get shot. She was just telling all this stuff about black people. And then she went on to talked about simple things like black people can't swim. And my position to the class was, think about what you're saying. And I said, to say that black people can't swim means that black people don't have arms and legs. It means that black people have an anatomy that would contribute to the idea that they physically cannot swim. Okay? Is that true? Is it true that black people cannot swim? I can swim. So they make up this stuff in their mind, generation after generation, class after class, and then they're teaching it in the institutions of education. And basically, it funnels down into our system and into our psyche and into our subconscious. And guess what? Your children, because we're older now, at least you know I am. So, speaking to the parents, your children are now in a position where they are being fed this misinformation about who they are as a black person. And when the teacher relates to them in class, she's probably relating to them or having a teachable moment based on some stereotype. So let us teach our children. We need to teach our own. And look, 2020 is a great start to that because we are at home more. We're more focused. We're more conscious. We're paying attention to what's going on in the world. And so, yes, this is actually a good time for us to start having this dialogue and this conversation. And this book, the Legacy Workbook, is a good place to start. You don't know what to talk about or how to talk about it. You don't want to share misinformation with your children. You do want to have your children on a high plane, and you want it registered in their mind about who they are as a black person. You want to debunk all these negative stereotypes, all this false information about how slavery was necessary and how the slaves enjoyed this. And look, get this workbook. Get the workbook. It's available on Amazon. So schools from preschool to college, all the way up, they hear lies. In sociology class, look, every class is going to wrap black people in some negative type of craziness. When I was in school, one thing they taught about was the bell curve. Who all know about the bell curve? Raise your hand, because if you've been to college, you probably know about that bell curve. So the bell curve teaches us that there is this hierarchy of intelligence. And so basically, it's just like it says. Oh, my dry erase board is way over there on the floor, and I really, really need it. Hold on a second, guys. Let me grab my dry erase board. This is way over here, and it's got stuff on it. So let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can erase it. I don't even know what was on here. I probably needed this stuff. I erased the board. I don't erase the board. I gotta give me another one because this one was a free one. I took some students to a college visit and they gave me a free dry erase board. And some other little gadgety stuff. So here's the bell curve. It's just like it says. Well, I need a marker at work. So here's the bell curve. Now, I don't remember every little detail. I just know. So you won't be looking at it upside down word. Okay, here's the bell curve. The idea is that you're smart over here and you're basically unintelligent or ignorant, dumb, whatever you want to call it, over here. Basically, this is the side of the stupid people. Okay, so when you're in school, when they teach you about the bell curve, now I don't remember the exact numbers. I'm gonna try to Google it right quick, see if I can get a good image. I want to intend on doing this. Hold on one second. So they tell you. Okay, I see a bunch of them on here. Which one is going to be the easiest for me to look at? Okay, I'll put it to you like this. I don't have time to watch a whole video. What's the name? Okay. Basically, what they do, whites are over here. White people, this is the smart, this is the stupid. This is sad, and this is happy. So when I was in school, they taught you white people were smart, and here go black people, and all other races, and whatever. Or I think it could have been white people were up here. I forgot. At any rate, somehow they surmised or calculated. Look up the bell curve. Somehow they calculated that white people are superior and black people are inferior. Well, look at the bell curve. And this is information in a textbook in college. So we have to educate ourselves and know and understand this information that's been put out here. Now we're coming out of this deep sleep where we've been asleep for a long time, and we've let these people plant this seed forever. I want to show you something else. Just recently, I was talking about immaterial earlier. Just recently, I want to show you what the Legacy Workbook is all about. So let me show you that right quick. Oh no, I gotta show you another one of these. All right, so here's what they think about us. Abraham Lincoln. There is a physical difference between white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together. While they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the race. All right. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm like, I just read that. Okay, so the last one is Henry Berry, Virginia House Representative. Sounds a lot like Moscow Mitch McConnell, who is racist as I don't know what. But anyway, let's read what Henry Berry said. We have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which the light may enter the slave's mind or black people's mind. If we could extinguish the capacity to see light, listen to this. They don't even want they don't want your children to even be able to see light, to know the truth, to understand who they are, to define themselves, not by their definition of us, of being unintelligent, lacking the ability to learn information and the capacity to think. All of this, they say, we don't even, if we could extinguish the capacity to see light, our work will be complete. They would then be on a level of the beasts of the fields, and we then should be safe. Racism is deep. Racism is real. These people, look, I don't know if you ever read any of those slave books where they train slave owners, where they gave them had all these little books and stuff they wrote to teach slave owners how to treat black people, how to talk to black people, how to engage with black people, how to punish black people, all to usurp their control, all to bring us under their control, to usurp their authority, or our authority. So anyway, let's see. So this is what the Legacy Workbook is all about. I posted some things about the book. People had questions. This is what the Legacy Workbook is all about. It is about creating lasting family bonds. And we know as black people, we need that, because we need to return to loyalty, commitment, all of the good things that are in this book. 7 chapters in this book that are life changing. So you have commitment, loyalty, consistency, stability. I'll just show you right quick. love, trust, and then you're going to create a family covenant and build yourself a family crest. Let me let you take a look at the Legacy Workbook real quick. All right, so that's the Legacy Workbook. We're going to go through it one more time, and I'm going to read the chapters off. So those are the activities that you will be doing. I break the book down basically in chapter one. From chapter one throughout the book, through all the chapters, I break it down into the lies, the facts, and then the truth. You have an assignment in each chapter, and then I give you a little section about know your history. Now, this is not like some work book. This is just something to give us a foundation and help us have conversations about really what being black is. And I love it because it erased the thoughts of not being liked. What kind of notes I got here? So we have this thing where we like feel bad because people don't like us. Oh well, nobody likes to be not liked. But if you would focus more on your family and who you are and those who agree with who you are, you won't find yourself so much worried about other people. See, I focus on my family. I focus on other amazing black people. And I don't find myself bothered by what other people think about me. Period. That's just how it is. And we can readdress our crown with the conscious mind, with our conscious mind as our weapon. And guess what? That cannot be penetrated. What you're going to learn, what your children are going to learn from this book, what you're going to learn as a family from this legacy workbook cannot be penetrated. Now, uh, you always going to hear me say something wrapped around the word of God because I'm a woman of God. There's scripture in the Bible that talks about putting on the whole armor of God. There's scripture that talks about no weapon formed against us shall prosper. There's scripture that talks about that no matter, how the enemy comes against us, if God be for us, who can be against us? That requires us to learn more about ourselves and coming into an agreement about who we are as black people. Because first you got to strengthen your mind. Because if your mind is weak and you believe everything that they say about you, you're not really in a position to operate in power. And then that's why we have our children in school and they hear these messages and they haven't heard anything at home that will help them quickly make the decision that this is garbage. This doesn't resonate with me. This doesn't speak to who I am as a person. And so that's what the legacy workbook helps us with. Know who you are. And it's important that this book has these activities in it because you've got to participate in your own awareness and conscious mind building and growing your family. I mean, and to me, it's just sparks some fun in your family as you learn. And I want you guys to do this work together. This is easy stuff. This is super easy stuff. There's nothing at all complicated about this whatsoever. This is stuff you can just use your phone for. YouTube videos, stuff like that. I even got some recommendations for movies, all kinds of stuff where you're gonna. It's just, I think it's just a good resource to have, a good activity to go through as a family, so that you can, like I said, build that foundation you need as a Black family. It's really good, really, really good. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you from the Legacy Workbook, to give you an idea of what the book is all about and to remind us that Black is positive. Black is positive. Don't you ever forget that. Don't let anybody attach anything to you that's not positive, because Black is positive. Here's an example of the covenant. You can't see the writing on there, but that's just a little covenant that I did, for the Herod family. Let's see. I can read it to you because it's in the book. I have it on my computer too, but let me read it to you. It says, the Herods, we commit to love, to share in one another's dreams, to walk in the path that glorifies God and brings honor to our family. We commit to being fair towards every person, to be peaceful, to be peaceable with all of mankind, to go above and beyond, to do our best. We commit to family first. That's just one of our covenants, and it's in this book. I keep forgetting I got this book right here, man. This is just one of the covenants, and it's in this book. There's another one, so I give you some examples, and then I tell you where to go so you can find out and see how to create your own covenant. And then you would put this covenant in your home, hang it on your wall. And what I would like for you to do is read that covenant at least once a month as a family. And then you'll build your own family crest like the one you see on the front of the book. And I teach you how to build a family crest and why it's important. So yeah, this book is full of good stuff. So listen, guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining me for this live. I hope you've learned something today. What they don't want us to do is to learn how to speak differently about ourselves. Now, this right here is from Malcolm X, and we appreciate Malcolm X because he understood the difficulty of being Black in America. And he said the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. I want to say thank you, Malcolm X, for all that you've done for us. And I want to introduce you guys to another way of saying this and what we should say. The most. Get ready. Get ready to say this. I'm telling you, get ready. Are you ready? Are you ready, Black women? Are you ready, Black men? Are you ready? Are you ready? I made some changes. I want it to be really obvious because trust me, I could have edited this perfectly, but I want you to see the changes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Hold up. I got me my little tambourine. It's loud too. I'll be playing it at church when the church get back open. Listen. The most respected person in America is the Black woman. The most protected person in America is the Black woman. And the most elevated person in America is the Black woman. I want you to speak it into existence as we change laws, and we will never forget justice for Breonna Taylor. Don't forget, guys, to vote. If you're not registered to vote, make sure you register to vote. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. Your vote decides the Board of Education, the funding for your school, all kinds of stuff. You see now how the kids needed Chromebooks and all of that? Well, the Board of Education, the members of the Board of Education, and all of that, all these people, the director of your school, superintendent, all these people are making decisions. So make sure you're a part of that whole system. So make sure you vote. Make sure you register to vote, but not only register, but you actually do vote. Remember to protect Black women. That's important. And we've been talking about basically having our children's back. This is Kathleen Harris, your conscious coach, and we are taking our children back. This is the Legacy Workbook. It's available on Amazon. I do all this because I believe it is our time and that we are breaking away from the curse. If you would like to support this ministry, this work, this whatever you want to call it, you can hit the Cash App at $KB product. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot something that I want to show you. Here's another reason why it is super important, and I looked at it 15 million times. Here's another reason why it's super important for us. Don't get ready to log off yet. You got to see this. Come on now, you got to see this part. I want to introduce you to Dr. Glover. Dr. Glover recently put out a report. I haven't had a chance to read the whole report, but I did have a chance to read this article. And I'm confident she's done some great work. So this is Dr. Sierra Glover. Sierra Smalls Glover. I want to read to you a little bit about what she said in her report. I'm not going to read this whole thing because I'm actually going to post the link. Let me grab this link right quick. I'm going to post it in chat so you can go and read it for yourself. So I'm just going to run through it right quick. If I can find my restream. Here we go. I know I'd be looking weird popping from behind these pictures. Oh, so there's my hello. Let's see. I got Periscope. I have Facebook. Let me see if I get YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Come on, YouTube. What's wrong with my YouTube? YouTube changed their what's the name. I wonder if I'm on. Let me type hello again. Sometimes I have to do it twice. Stay on board, guys. You want to hear what this Black Queen had to say. And it's in line with everything I'm talking to you guys about right now. Oh, it doesn't look like my YouTube is up. So I'm going to have to download this video again. Well, there's the article. There's the article where you can read about Dr. Glover. Let me read you a little bit about what she had to say. Give me a second here. Boop. Okay. All right. Where's my article, jeez? Okay, here we go. Sierra Smalls. Get that music down. An associate professor of psychology at Georgia State is examining factors that mitigate the adverse effects of discrimination against persons from racial and ethnic minority backgrounds, including consequences for their emotional, academic, and physical health. Okay? I was originally studying stress and coping, and from that I learned about the weight of persistent stressor for communities of color, and that's racial and ethnic discrimination. Listen, your teacher stand up in school telling you George Floyd don't deserve to be honored and speaking all these negative stereotypes over your children's head and in their ears, that's discrimination. One of the factors that literature has found to be especially protective is racial and ethnic identity. Dr. Glover said, these are the beliefs and attitudes about an individual's group membership. She said that these beliefs and attitudes evolve over time with family. Say family. Say family again. One more time. Say family, playing a critical role In her words, identity doesn't just happen, it develops. And one of the salient influences, I need my glasses on, in the development is family. Dr. Glover explained. The role of the family has been central to my work in looking at the very messages that families send to prepare their children for independence. Families from underrepresented groups often don't get permission to be portrayed in multifaceted ways. Oh, I wish I would have talked about this earlier. Guys, go read that article, is all I can say. It is worth it. She gets it. She understands it. She knows it. She's packaged it. She's presented it. Dr. Smalls Glover, an African American professor, assistant professor, she knows her stuff. So everything that I'm telling you, I'm just not shooting stuff off the top of my head. This is real work and real thing and some real things that we need to do. Build that foundation within your family. Start with the Legacy Workbook. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an awesome, awesome day. Contribute to the wealth, health of Black people in some way. Join a local or national organization. I say join one from anywhere from Until Freedom, Black Lives Matter, NAACP, or whatever group or organization out there that supports eliminating racism. Have a great day, guys. This is Kathleen Harrod, your conscious coach.